We need more accessible, handicap accessible apartments, whatever, in Boone. I can't go upstairs. I can't live in an apartment that has stairs because of my condition. So we need more places that's more accessible to handicap, elderly, and
There is not a single apartment I've ever lived in. Hold up. No, there's not a single apartment I've ever lived in that would be accessible to most disabilities.
We can't live in apartment complexes because drug charges. And that's shocking to me that certain people can, but so they don't even give you a little bit of leeway with that. They say 7 years or 10 years, but I got friends they've been out of trouble for 20 some odd years and they still can't get nothing done.
La verdad que siempre ha sido, sí hemos encontrado que es precisamente el que no te acepten, ¿no? Como el de la... A veces el propietario no te acepta por ser inmigrante, por ser ilegal o por ser mexicano, por ser del país que fuera, o sea, no te acepta. ¿Cómo se le dice? Discriminación, también eso hemos encontrado, pensando que pues nosotros necesitamos, todos necesitamos, ¿no? Entonces, encontrar esa barrera también que nos impide el poder encontrar un hogar o una casa, un lugar donde estar, es también muy decepcionante aquí en este lugar.
Totally aimed towards students, and of course that's to take advantage of the investment and to make a massive amount of money, because I mean the total amount of rent costs, if you wanted to, if you didn't want to have roommates, you're going to pay $1,800 a month for a 3-bed, and there's there are 0 options for single families. I feel like, and I look at renting websites for Boone and everything, and it makes me extremely depressed. It kills my entire day.
Dang.
And it's something that is hard for me to stay an emotional towards, because I don't want my daughter to grow up here.
We bought a mobile home in Bradford Park, where Bradford Park is one of the places that they don't take care of. There's a lot of family living there, a lot of kids, but they don't take care of the roads, they don't take care of nothing.
I'd rented there like January or February, was like 2.5 years. And no one had told me that rental specifically was going to be sold. They only stated that the one next door was up for sale. And so then on January the 19th, I get a phone call that morning, and it's the landlord, and she says, "Rita, I have some news for you." And I thought, well, she sounds kind of happy, but what kind of happy news would she have for me? And she says, "The house has been sold. You're going to have to find a new place to live." And I'm like, I just went into shock.
The issues that I had is like, because I was staying home, I would be like, oh, let me look for a house that we can rent, and I would look for a house that I would like to rent, and then I would call the number, and they were like, oh, well, the house has just rented, or we have somebody already looking for it, and stuff like that. And I was like, I just wonder what is going on. So I will ask my husband, who is American, to go ahead and call and see if he will get an appointment or something. And when he will call, he will get an appointment. So then after many experiences like that, I was like, what in the world is going on, that a lot of times when I call, they will not. And even though the house is still available. And that is actually when I realized it was because of my accent.
If you think about access and discrimination, if you have rental companies that own lots and lots of properties and are saying you cannot look at any units and you have to sign a lease, and then there's a fee if you cancel the lease, And because if you cancel the lease, you may not be able to find somewhere else. I mean, of course, that's a huge access issue.
Living in Meadow Hills, we had some issues with some racial issues, and I hate to bring that up, but that's exactly what happened. It was more or less, we were pretty much the only African Americans in the neighborhood that we were in, maybe with like one or two families that were blended. So it was a lot of stuff that was done to us that made us really uncomfortable. So that's how we decided to move somewhere else.
I feel like I've been here for the last 30-some years. In about the next 10 or 15 years, I'm not going to be able to live here because they're not going to be accepting HUD, or you're not going to be able to find a place to live that does accept HUD.
I feel for people who, are homeless. I've been there before. I've experienced it one other time. Yeah.
For the longest time, Pawtucket County has not looked out for its locals at all. And I understand because it's, ASU brings in all your money. It's smart, but you gotta keep your locals in town or close to town.
Yeah.
You gotta keep them invested in the local government and the way things get done, or nothing's actually gonna get done properly. Because the ASU students don't care. They're here for a couple of years and then they move on to where they're from or where they want to go.
Yeah.
It does not benefit them at all to be involved in the local government.
What I've noticed that they want is middle-class people who basically have their parents paying for them, so they are guaranteed their money.
We had an apartment fire in June, the kitchen caught on fire in June. The wiring sparked all the way around the kitchen, which caused the fire, which caused the stove to explode. Hole in the ceiling, it was bad. And it was mold all in the apartment, I'm talking about bad black mold. We sprayed bleach, we cleaned. We told them about it and they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna come and do it and fix it and take that wall out and paint it. That was a year ago and it never got done. So because of the fire, we had a hard time finding housing. It was more like everyone wanted to rent to students. No one wanted to rent to a whole family. They, when they were like, yeah, you can come visit and see the house. And then we would come and then, they would kind of look at us side eye like, I don't know what that was about. But then they was like, oh, well, someone else is going to get it. I rented it to someone else, but you told me I qualified for it. You told me to come see it and to see if I wanted it. And now all of a sudden you rented it to someone else. And that was what we dealt with too.
So we moved our house to our land, which we couldn't enjoy it because after 3 weeks that they moved it, it burned to the ground. So after that, we had to move with my mom. We had to move with my mom because we had no other place to go. Because the rent were really high and we were afraid to have the same problem again.
Pues la verdad, la experiencia que hemos tenido ha sido muy desagradable porque desafortunadamente como venimos llegando ya tenemos un año aquí en este lugar y pues lo que uno quisiera pues es tener un lugar donde estar, ¿no? Mas no hemos tenido esa oportunidad, hemos estado buscando y no hay, sobre todo el apoyo que deberíamos de tener, porque nos piden documentos que por lógica pues venimos llegando, no tenemos y por todo este problema de ahorita de la pandemia pues también se puso peor, ¿no? Vamos a decirlo así. Y hemos estado buscando por todos lados y no encontramos. Hemos encontrado lugares sí, pero súper caros que pues somos cuatro integrantes de familia, venimos a trabajar 2 y pues mis hijos que llegan a la escuela, pues lógico ellos no podrían. Y se nos hace muy difícil, la verdad, poder pagar una cierta cantidad que pues por lógica no lo tenemos a la mano, todavía tenemos que estar pues trabajando duro para poder conseguirlo y el trabajo también ha sido muy difícil.
Did have a Section 8 voucher that was given to me, after the fire so that we could find somewhere fast. But a lot of people not here didn't accept it at all. Or the voucher wasn't enough to pay the rent. Well, like I said, that's fine if you accept the voucher. Me and my family will pay the remainder of it, ourselves. Nope, they didn't want to do it. They rather rent to students. It was just like,
I was going to be in the car, and I was thinking, well, I would just have to keep gas in the car enough to crank it up every once in a while, heat it up real good, and then get back under the covers. And I was going to have some thought about having somebody help me remove my seats, the middle seats, and store them somewhere, and I would have enough room to lay down on the bottom of the floor with the cats. They would have more room. They wouldn't feel so cramped up.